I'm asking you to vote to give Click a chance. I don't believe it has really, truly been given the opportunity to grow the way it should have been grown from the very beginning.
Well, today marks the 4-year anniversary of the historic vote that saved Click Network from privatization.
I believe every council member up here loves Click.
I also learned back then that when it comes to numbers, you could throw the numbers up in the air almost every day at TPU and have them come up with a different result.
A number of years. I have been with Click since the beginning. I love Click and have been supporting it all the way along.
It wasn't long after that the powers that be brought a $28 million lawsuit and threatened to shut Click down. City Council went from all in to all out.
Can you explain to the public what has come, where we're at with that litigation, and how it may impact the city of Tacoma and the general fund budget?
Thank you, Councilmember Blocker. So the lawsuit was filed in 2018. The plaintiffs, who are ratepayers, including the industrial customers of Tacoma Power, are alleging that based on their analysis of the subfund accounts, that the city power department has been subsidizing the Click losses to the tune of about $21 million. And under Washington state law, they're entitled to interest on those amounts, which could be as high as 12% per annum. So at this point, they would be asking for $28 million. Our current general fund reserve account is roughly $35 million.
With a contingency plan now to privatize Click again, we are saved by the bell. The appellate court has ruled Click is not illegal. The city wins the lawsuit. With only weeks to spare, the final vote to transfer the franchise is set for January 7th. On pins and needles, what will council do?
Thank you, Deputy.
Please stick with Click.
Return with me now to the daring days of 2015 and the resourceful council that stuck with Click.
And I can't ever see myself voting to lease or privatize this vital asset.
I think the case has already been made for the value of this unique resource.
Go all in, we need Click. Thank you.
And when you privatize something, it becomes important for that company to make sure that they look at their bottom line. That's the most important thing.
All right, Mayor Bill Barsma.
Thank you. My name is Bill Barsma, and thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, for the hours that you've spent on this issue. You asked great questions, laudatory indeed. And to Deputy Mayor Bowe and Councilmember Walker, I thank you for your service. Timing is everything, and here you are in a very historic meeting. It's your last meeting. Brings back old memories where I had the privilege and honor of sitting at the dais considering these issues back in the 1990s. And I'm here to really speak on behalf of Resolution 39347 as crafted by Councilmember Campbell. This proposal is visionary. It's a big decision, but big decisions generate criticisms, words of caution, and naysaying. But let me assure you that this is a Tacoma decision based on clear historic precedents. It's a decision comparable to the decision that built that first dam on the Nisqually River that generated the lowest cost power in the country. It's a decision comparable to building that pipeline from the Green River to give us for the first time clean, pure water. It's a decision comparable to building those power lines across the Narrows to connect us with the Cushman Dam. And a decision that's comparable to the City Council buying a 27-acre Superfund site on the Foss Waterway and taking on the liability of cleaning it up. And finally, the decision that the Council made to build the largest telecommunications system in North America and pay for it in cash. These are Tacoma decisions, great decisions, legacy decisions. This decision tonight is one for the history books. It's a decision that offers you an opportunity to build on the vision of those decision makers back in the 1990s that built this telecommunications system and paid for it, $200 million in cash that moved this city forward. It's a decision that will allow you to move forward, and it's one that I urge you to take positively so that we can move this city forward as a progressive city of destiny. Thank you very much.
And so I want to thank Mayor Barsma for his work as a member of the council back then to make that happen. And I think when a history professor tells you you're facing a historic decision, he probably knows what he's talking about.
This is your big chance. You get to keep this a public utility, keep the vision going for Tacoma. If you lease it, that decision is made. We won't get that choice back again.
Isn't it a shame that these voices and the thousands of Click customers have not had the chance to be the spokespeople, the advertisements, better than billboards, voices, the experience, the people who love what they've got?
The internet helps mitigate income inequality as it allows equitable and nearly barrier-free access to essential government services, career advancement and opportunity, educational development on all levels, and yes, human connection and communication.
And promoting it the way it deserves to be promoted and allow more people access to it. I'm all in with Click. Thank you.
Sell or lease Click to a for-profit corporation, and we become just like almost every other mid-sized city out there.
This decision just takes strong leadership, and we are looking to you for it tonight. Thank you.
I believe bringing broadband to all TPU ratepayers and partnering with other communities and reaching beyond. Our wires go well beyond our service area.
You know, at the TPU meeting, somebody mentioned that they had been trying to get a new remote because their remote was broken, and some employee in the audience left the room and came back with a remote for him and exchanged it right then. Service hardly gets any better than that.
As Tacoma started the wired city trend that is sweeping the country and has been successfully copied by the country and continent of Australia, wow, a whole continent copied Tacoma.
Quality of life is really important, and being able to go down the street to Advanced Stream and tell them if I have a problem, which I rarely do, but they're right there if I need them. It's completely different than calling an 800 number and being on hold, which is not a pleasant experience.
And join the dozens of other cities and become a gigabit city. Please show that the city of Tacoma is more nimble and more forward-thinking than the telecom conglomerates.
It's up to you, and I ask you to provide the vision and the leadership that will preserve and grow this valuable asset. Thank you.
Some say the lease option mitigates risk and loss. I think the exact opposite is true, as it relinquishes our public decision-making authority.
We're the only ones that are going to care that much about what happens here in Tacoma, so we want to keep it a public utility. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who will decide the service boundaries in our communities? Who will determine if residents will be given the ability to choose between service providers, and what will those services cost? It won't be us, and it won't be you.
We talk about legacy. We talk about vision. We're talking about the future here.
And unfortunately, and I was concerned back then that they would let the business atrophy and we would all end up here today. So that part, I guess I'm right. And when I further learned that the leadership of the utility did not even have Click service, that would be comparable to the mayor not living in Tacoma.
Looking at what we have here with Click and the fact that the municipality actually owns it gives us a strategic advantage in the tech industry.
Maybe rather than the debate we're having, the obvious is stick with Click. Maybe we should be looking at leasing out management to out-of-state companies.
Saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The resolution, as amended, is adopted unanimously.
Decision. I'm a supporter of Click. I want to see Click remain in the public trust.
But we do realize we have this incredible asset, and we do realize that there are other municipalities that would kill for what we have.
You Click supporters that have spoken tonight have heard me time and time again talk about my resolute love for Click.
I, for one, am an outspoken, proud supporter of Click. I happen to be a customer of Click.
One thing that is clear is that Tacoma loves Click.
I also learned back then that when it comes to numbers, you could throw the numbers up in the air almost every day at TPU and have them come up with a different result.
I liken that to having someone work for you who's stealing from the cash register. If that happens, it's not your fault for being unclear. You need a new cashier.
Stick with Click. Thank you, thank you, thank you.